Hello, so I've got my game Robot Runner here. Working title, you'll realise why it's called Runner. It's an endless runner that I've done in Unity. This is my first ever game in Unity, really. Also my first proper mobile game, so definitely a learning experience for me. I had to pretty much learn Unity over a weekend, and then try and apply that to making a game. I relied a lot on the kind of tutorials that they have on the Unity website, the live coding stuff, which is really useful. So the game's pretty simple but effective, I think, and I think pretty good for my first title. So I'll just open it up. So I don't know how well sound is picked up on the microphone from this, but I do have music for all the different menus, and also for sounds in the game. So this is just like a basic start screen. So I'll just play a little bit. So the object of the game is your score is based on how long you survive, and if you collect the little stars, you also get a bonus to your score. You get an extra 1,000 for every star you collect. And I've got a little counter at the top telling you your current score and your starter. You have to avoid the objects, so there's like barriers at the bottom, and there's rocks coming in from the side. I didn't really find any good artwork for the stuff, so I did the rocks myself. Then there's a basic game over screen which tells you what your score was, and you can go back into the game and play again. Difficulty is something that's quite easy to tweak. I have the objects coming in based on a minimum and maximum time, and it randomly chooses between those. So those are values that can easily be tweaked to make the game easier or harder. So yeah, let me just go back to this screen so it's not making noise anymore. But yeah, so that's the game. It doesn't seem to have any bugs. There's a little bit of jittering in the background, the parallax scrolling I've got in the background, which I followed another tutorial for that. Apparently that's due to an issue with floating point number. I'm not sure. There's some stuff that could be done better. The way that I'm handling the objects getting destroyed once they go off screen is I'm pretty much destroying them and then recreating them later on. Object pooling would be a better way to do that. Something I'd look into if I had more time. And also I've got the score saved in the player preferences, which is a plain text file that can be edited, and you could edit it and give yourself a really good score if you wanted to, so it's not necessarily super secure, but it works for the purposes of this kind of demo. And I mean, it has sound, all the artwork done by myself, apart from the little robot character, which is a Unity sample 2D sprite sheet. They do have a character controller for it, but I didn't want to use the character controller. I wanted to try sprite animation myself, so again I followed another tutorial for that. But basically all I took from the sample assets was this sprite sheet for this robot character, and I handled all the different animation stuff myself, just because I wanted to learn how to do that as well. So if I was given any other sprite sheet for another character, I'd be able to replicate what I've done here. But yeah, I think that's about it. Again, you can tweak values to make it harder or easier. The rocks make it a little bit more challenging. I didn't have them at first. Obviously, given it's a kids game, you might want to make it a little bit easier. It's sort of totally up to you. And then in terms of kids editing games, that you can have that as a slider to determine how often things spawn, how fast the player runs, how many stars are on the screen. Even things to do with, do you want to have these rocks coming in at all? Do you want to add more? Do you want to take them away? All that kind of stuff can be changed. I'm not sure how great this looks on the camera, because obviously I'm doing like a handy cam style thing just to show you that it is working on my mobile phone. Nexus 5, which is 1920 by 1080 display. I also have it running on my tablet. I have an older version running on my tablet, which I can quickly show. So this is 16:9 resolution. I don't believe iPhone is 16:9. I think that's 16:10 or something different. I'm just grabbing my tablet. So this is an earlier version, which doesn't have sounds. Well, it doesn't have as many sounds, and I think maybe a few differences. Oh god, I just realised that the tablet's a lot bigger. Let me just tilt the camera up a little bit. Yeah, so here's it running on my tablet, which is a 7-inch tablet, which has a 16:10 resolution. Unfortunately, I don't have an iOS device to test on. I guess even if I did, I don't have a Apple licensed developer thing. But yeah, so that's what. So it does run on the 2 Android devices that I currently own pretty well. But yeah, I guess you'd have to test on iOS devices to see how it looks and how it runs, and that's the kind of things you could change. I managed to avoid using any on GUI stuff because I heard that runs really badly on mobile. So the kind of text stuff you see up the top is using just GUI textures and GUI text. So hopefully that's saving draw calls. Apparently the on GUI stuff is pretty bad for draw calls. You'd probably use your own custom-made UI, ideally, if you're working on a project for longer than a week. But obviously, given it was a week, I just used what I had with me. So yeah, this has been a demonstration of it running on 2 different devices. Yeah, so try it out. Hope you enjoy it. See you later.